Hello, welcome to the weekly tarot forecast. We will be covering the week of Sunday, May 27th through to the 2nd of June, which is a Saturday. Yeah, just wanted to make sure I got those dates right. So, before I get into it, I just want to thank those that have been watching. I appreciate your support, as well as those that have been watching that are new, or if this is your first time watching a video, welcome. I greatly appreciate it, and I do not take your attention lightly. So, I guess I'll talk a little bit about the astrological transits. I don't really speak much on those just because I'm not a super seasoned astrologer or anything like that. I just kind of look at what seems very much like notable for the week, and I mean, obviously the two most notable things that are going on will be going on, within the same day, really, and that will be the Sagittarius full moon on Tuesday. On this same day, we also have Mercury entering Gemini, so I feel like both of these are very significant when we speak about, the ideas of which we're aware of and things like that. The things that, because the sun has been in Gemini season for about a week now, actually. Yeah, it'll be officially a week, this week. So, we've had a little bit of the taste of the Gemini energy and the Gemini flavor. But I feel like once you get Mercury in Gemini, where, it loves to be, I feel like we're going to be just getting, like, downloads, not just even downloads, but one of the most prominent things that the thing that I notice is this week with the moon starting at the end of Scorpio, and then it ends as it moves into Aquarius on the 2nd. So as far as what our emotions are feeling, we're definitely feeling very much into the emotional, the intangible, the yin side of the world. I feel definitely tapping into that and spending time with that this week. But also one of the most notable things that it's not actually technically within the week. It happens on the 3rd, but I mean, we can even just talk about it a little bit, since I kind of feel like it's part of the outcome maybe that was reflected here, which we'll talk about when we get to it. And that's when the when the moon in Aquarius conjuncts Mars, while Mars is currently, going through its transit past the South Node. So I feel like that's actually really, really important as far as what we will be feeling, the feelings that we'll be channeling, because I feel like whatever we'll be feeling that day will be very powerful. So let's just get into the cards, see what comes for us. As usual, I'm doing my pentacle spread, or not really my pentacle spread, but the pentacle spread. I also pulled an oracle card for the week as well. And yeah, that's how we'll wrap it up. So let's just discuss a little bit, I guess, the bottom of the decks. So I'm using my Dragon Tarot as usual, and I'm using the Rider-Waite Radiant deck as a clarification deck. So when we look at just the bottom cards of the decks, we have a Knight of Wands, and we have 3 of Pentacles in reverse. So as always, Knights of Wands can go either way. They can be, extremely just like out there, like over the top in that way, or they can, go the other way. But in this particular spot, if I just take these cards for us, I'm seeing this as definitely being a spiritual warrior, definitely being willing to not fight as if like always like a physical fight, but really willing to go ahead and take the charge. Whenever I do see volcanoes in the back, it's very much that they're willing to go off, not the volcanoes necessarily, but that this energy, they're willing to go off if they have to, or sometimes it can go off very unexpectedly. But in this particular case, it can be where, you know, we're going off unexpectedly, but honestly, it just feels more like we're really having to go, not necessarily into battle, but like really having to go and be very much aware of the relationships and bonds that do not support us. You know, Three of Pentacles is usually speaking of, you know, relationships, like grounding relationships where you're able to learn more, where you're able to receive more value. Even when, excuse me, words all over the place. When you see these men, you know, they're kind of learning something new maybe from this character. But maybe you're seeing this, or maybe this could be some of you being deceived by those that you thought really cared about you, and being deceived in the way that, like, really allowing them to make you think, not make you think a certain way, but make you value certain things, or build certain products, or put your energy into certain tasks, or, you know, it could be projects, but this doesn't always have to be like business-wise or anything like that. It could even be family, just people that have been around that you really thought kept you grounded, or really gave you the stability in which you're able to go forth and really blossom, but that's not the case. Or what you're realizing, I feel, is that that's not the case. So let's go into the cards. So for where we are currently as of this reading, so we have the King of Coins clarified by Seven of Wands in reverse. So this is giving me the feeling that we are not being willing to really fight for what it is we truly value. Fighting for our own stability, fighting for, not in the sense of always independence, but really the King of Coins, especially in this particular card, you know, they're very stable. The way that this trunk is like their base, like you don't really see much knocking this tree or dragon down. The only thing I see being able to take this tree down is if you completely uproot it, or you take, like, you know, a saw to it. You're gonna have to come at it like hard if that's what you really want to do, to knock this person off of their throne. Not only that, but, you know, King of Coins, when someone is full within themselves, or when they feel that they are whole, and when they feel like they have enough, they're also more willing to give, because they don't really have that lack mentality. So with the Seven of Wands here, I see it as two different things. I can see it as like you having done this, like you really exposing this part of you, or really acknowledging not just this part of you, but acknowledging your own values and your own riches, your own, you know, abundance, acknowledging how you are stable and supportive in your own right. And maybe other people have not been taken to lightly, but to be honest, I'm not even seeing this as like other people not liking it. I'm seeing this as like some of us not being willing to stand up for what it is that grounds us and supports us. Like not even being willing to fight against the other wills, whether they're other people or it's parts of ourselves that makes us think that we don't deserve. Excuse me, I have got to get some water. Ooh. Mouth's extra dry already, and I'm not even through with this. Excuse me. All right. So when that's the energy that we're kind of sitting in, what it is that we're seeking, we have the Fool upside down with Temperance. You know, both major arcana cards, but, you know, one of them in reverse. So I'm feeling definitely that the first thing that came to my mind when I seen this card was the Uranus energy. Was that maybe, like, not that we haven't been dealing with it well, but like it's been hard to balance. Uranus energy is not easy for first of all to channel, and then I feel like to channel like well, I don't think it's easy at all. Like, I mean, Uranus is that rebellious, you know, energy. It's that spark. Like, it really is. And so when it's in reverse, it's, you know, for me, oftentimes the negative side of the Fool. So, you know, jumping into things without planning them, being too quick at the gun, you know, being too quick at the draw, maybe being reckless, you know, with your adventure. But I'm not even necessarily seeing as like, oh, we're just all being reckless. I can kind of just see this as us really wanting I'm seeing this honestly as a few different things. I'm honestly seeing this like as just needing or wanting angelic guidance through this time, through this Uranus transit, through this really fresh, brand new time. Because I mean, for a lot of us, I don't know if you guys are all resonate with that, but like, I think I've like posted a few different times, a few different ways. Like, like you can feel it. Like I feel it. It's so tangible for me. Or not even tangible, but it's just, you can feel it in the air. And it's kind of, I feel like, sending people a little bit in a not even a spiral. Like, I just don't even know the word for it. And I feel like we're, you know, we're looking for assistance, or maybe looking for a sign that, you know, this is, you know, the right path, that we're not actually just out here just lollygagging, or just, you know, walking off of cliffs and being very unaware of how it's going to affect us, the way that, you know, the Fool looks on the normal Rider-Waite deck. Even, I honestly do like this Fool card because it has a lot of symbols in it. I mean, you see the dice, the willing to take a risk, the way that his face don't even face his feet. Like, he's not even aware where he's walking. I see the black and white as, like, duality. I see it as not really walking past that, but moving past that, the way that it's actually moving out this hall. But with the Temperance, the card of like balance, of spiritual expansion, but with this, yes, I'm definitely seeing that we are wanting to a balance, the same balance I've been speaking about. But again, this isn't really just a physical, like, oh, I want a work life, personal life balance. Like, I mean, you could take it that way, but this, whenever I start seeing this card, and the more that I've learned about this card, I'm more and more seeing it as when we are in our full power, you often have control and a great balance of your masculine and feminine energies. And that's kind of what I'm seeing with this, and where we're really finding a balance and finding a flow with which we're able to go on this journey, this Fool journey, without being so, like, I won't say it's so happy-go-lucky, but to where it's, we're being new, we're being innocent in the journey, but it's not with such a naivety where we're completely unaware. I feel like that's what we're really looking for. We're wanting, you know, we're seeking awareness. We're really just wanting to, like, understand and I'm even seeing this as coming into knowledge. Like, I'm seeing the, like, the one cup being poured into the other. I'm seeing this as, like, a flowing of emotional support or energy from one higher source to another. So when we move on into the unconscious or the hidden factors here, we have 5 of Coins in reverse, supported by 9 of Pentacles. So both Pentacles cards for a subconscious feeling. So I'm just, the first few vibes that I'm getting just starting in this is that, you know, this is a lot of Pentacle energy, a lot of Pentacle energy. So this could be referring to all of that energy that's still a little bit in Taurus, like that Uranus energy in Taurus, where we're feeling like a little bit lost, where I feel like we have felt like a little bit lost in like all this change, and not just lost, but just like low-key maybe having lost faith, because it's like, so I walked into this maze. If I even look at this card, it's like, so I walked into this, and like now I almost feel like I should just walk out, but I can't even walk out. Like, that's what it kind of feels like when I look at this card. It's like you've walked into the maze thinking this was gonna be easier. Like they said, oh, like they said this gonna be fun. I don't know why that came into my head, but it's like, it even makes me think about like all this like ascension talk and new earth talk, and it is nice. Like, it's so nice, because I feel like, oh, this is what, you know, a lot of our souls have been here working really hard to do. But like, let's not front and act like this battle is not a real war with real casualties. Maybe not like, you know, blood strewn everywhere, like, excuse, you know, my vulgar descriptions, but it's like it's a battle. Like, this is a spiritual battle. The spiritual warriors are having to really show up and having to really see who the real ones are. And it doesn't mean like, oh, a real one is the only ones that are willing to, like, I'm not talking about red or dies or like any of that kind of stuff that people talk about. I'm just talking about people that are in their integrity, people that are not, you know, shallow. When I mean shallow, I mean like they're not even standing in their own truth and their own, you know, stability and grounding. And so the support that they lend you can't be any better. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I look at, because my eyes are looking at this Three of Pentacles here. So with this Five of Coins in reverse, I feel like you're getting out of that space of feeling like there's no one supporting you. Like, getting out of that victim blaming. And what's allowing this is this Nine of Pentacles energy. I feel like I may have just, not even maybe I just thought about it, but I just realized that Venus, I believe, officially began opposing Saturn today or yesterday. Today is Sunday as I'm recording this. So I'm even seeing a lot of this as that that energy picking up. Or not even picking up, but that energy, that Venus and Cancer opposing this Capricorn energy, this really strong, like, Saturn's in Capricorn. It's in its home, it's in its domicile. So you're really having to go up against very established traditional ways of doing things, but being like, but like, does that really vibe with how I feel? Like, do I actually value that? Does that really mean something to me? Do I actually care? Like, am I emotionally even attached to that? Do I care? Not even attached in a, you know, in that way, but like, if I even just go back to this and go back to like you can even look at this as these on top of each other, like as supportive cards like that. Where it's like, yeah, now you're feeling, not just feeling yourself, but it's like you are feeling or beginning to feel, especially with, you know, this in the next coming week. Oops, I'm going to put that card back wherever it went. But in spending time alone and spending time in your own, if you even want to look at this like in your own garden, in whatever it is that you manifested, whether this is an actual physical place like your own home or like your own car, your own job or something like that, or even just like your own stability, where like, I know I can relate to this, where like I'm not always needing to run to someone else for like an affirmation or confirmation for what it is I'm feeling, or run to someone else for confirmation about what it is that I'm doing, is it of value, or if what I'm saying is of value, any of that. I feel like now you're referring to yourself. You're finding faith in yourself. I don't know if this even means anything to you guys, but I noticed like the bird here on the lady's arm. And lately, I've been having, I don't want to say bird run-ins, like that's a weird way of putting it, but I've been having these little occurrences with like birds that like hummingbirds. I don't see hummingbirds like that around my house. I live in an apartment complex, I'm sorry, and it's just I just don't normally see these birds. So I'm feeling maybe we're also receiving some messages through birds that we're seeing around us, or maybe just through nature, through us spending time with nature. We're receiving some more information, where we're getting in touch with our femininity, our values. Like this, you know, you see like the Venus just coming off of this card, and the yellow, like the sacral chakra, the willpower just coming off of this, where it's like you don't need no one else because you've got your own will, you've got your own stability, like your pinnacle. So you could even see that as like your own money. But I'm not even seeing this as always money. I'm seeing this as like self-worth, self-value. And in finding that, like, you're getting out of this funk by yourself. Like, you're not necessarily getting this confirmation or this reassurance or anything from like friends. I'm feeling like maybe you are getting some confirmations or some synchronicities from some angelic signs, you know, especially when I'm looking at this Temperance card right here. Oop, I may have to stop this video just so I can string it along to the next one, because it's gonna probably cut off in a couple. So I'll just introduce this and then I'll go ahead and get started in a whole different video and attach it. So we'll just bring this up here. We have a 7 of coins with the Empress in reverse. And I feel like this is definitely touching more on, I mean, look at these cards. You have more pentacles and then the Empress, which you can definitely relate to the Pentacles energy. And it, I mean, we're definitely going to get into the connections there and just get into the conscious factors. All right, we are back. Apologies there. Let's just jump back into it. So, back again with the 7 of coins and the Empress reverse. So, in us tapping into our own Venetian energy, our own self-worth, our own values, whatever it is that makes us feel whole, whatever it is that makes us feel grounded and supported and stable. We're really taking another look at that. Taking another look at every part of our life that is not giving us this Empress vibe. Everything that is not making us feel abundant. So just in general, I'm just seeing this as just like lack energy. Just lack energy, lack thinking, all of that. So we're really having to assess that. Really having to assess how that way of thinking, how that way of living, how that energy has been helping us to build maybe more toxic things or things that aren't very healthy for us. But we're also able to look at how we can build healthy, you know, self-worth and self-value, and how we're able to break these feelings of lack. Whether it is in, you know, a very physical, tangible way where we feel a lack of money, or maybe we feel a lack of fulfillment within ourselves when it comes to, you know, as I keep just mentioning it, like your own value. What makes you feel valuable? What makes life feel valuable to you? Do you actually care about getting a 401k and all that, or do you not? You know, do you actually, what actually matters to you more is like spending time with your family and your loved ones or something like that, because that's where you feel abundant. Or maybe, you know, be like, yeah, so maybe I don't have this, this, and that. But also taking stock of what it is that you do have. And I feel like that, again, that also plays into this energy. And where you do start to see, actually, I am not all alone, for one. It could be that kind of thing where you realize, well, actually, I do have help of my guides, which is what reminds me when I look at this bird. Or even just that feeling of, well, actually, even, or that's what I'm noticing. Or maybe that's the first thing that came to mind. Realizing that quality is more important than quantity. I'm not entirely sure what made me think that, but I mean, just all of the Empress and the Venus energy. I mean, just Taurus energy in general. Like, Taurus isn't gonna settle or, pay unless it's worth it. A Taurus or, Earth energy, they'll throw down the cash if they feel like it's worth that, It wouldn't matter if you told them it wasn't worth that. Like, to them, it's worth that. And it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't be a thing. Because that energy knows, that it's not about the quantity. It's not about what it is that you can see with your eyes all the time. And I say that especially when I look at, when I was spending time looking at this Empress card yesterday, it's just noticing none of this grows without water. None of this grows without water. And so, if you wanted to look at this in terms of ourselves, realizing that your abundance does not grow unless your heart is in it. You can want so bad to, like, have the money or be famous or be whatever it is, because that's what the world tells you. Like, that's how we see that you're successful or something. But maybe you're just realizing, like, yo, not even realizing, but you're understanding that manifestation is not about just what it is that you think you need to have to impress anyone or any of that. That it's about what do you care about. Because whatever it is that you care about, whatever it is that you're emotionally invested in, that is what is going to grow. That is how things get, fueled and funded. So I'm even seeing this as maybe some of you had to deal with, like, money. Maybe I can even see this as, like, maybe this was somebody that was, like, bankrolling you or supporting you financially in a way that, like, it made you feel like you couldn't do it on your own. Like, you kind of had to, since they financially, fund you, you kind of have to do what they say. Nah, you're realizing, nah, on both ends, that nah, you don't have to depend on someone else in that respect. Like, you don't have to depend on someone else to give you your value. You can do that by yourself. And that, nah, it's not. I think I mentioned this to someone in person rather recently, a few times, that anything that is given with some sort of rule or with some sort of expectation is a contract. And that's when you start getting into that devil energy, where it's not always a devil energy where it's always bad, but it's like a contract is a contract. That's that Saturn energy where, okay, Saturn doesn't, Saturn doesn't abuse. Saturn doesn't wrongly punish anybody. Like, that's why it's like whenever people try to talk about Saturn as like this big bad guy, it's like, honestly, Saturn does not bring you anything you did not reap, anything you did not sow yourself. That's truth. Let me just get into the outcome in this oracle card, because I'm just like, now we're getting into, like, not outside the message, but I really do want to just finish this, and then maybe afterwards I'll just do a video of just talking and just kind of letting the channel come through. We'll see. But let me get a drink of water here. All right. So, getting to this outcome, or if you want to look at this chronologically, looking at, you know, what it is we're really hoping to get out of, or not hoping to get out of, but I guess on, you know, in our highest timeline, what it is that we're hoping will happen out of all of this. And so we have, honestly, this is beautiful, especially when I just got done talking about that water energy. This Three of Cups, backed and supported by the moon in reverse. So I'm seeing this as like you're really gonna have to let go of some emotional attachments that hold you back, that are actually, you know, shadow sides or shadow aspects that have really just been there for you to see. Like they're shadows, they're mirrors in order for you to learn. And so I'm kind of low-key seeing this as like the shadows go away, like the darkness goes away. Like I can even see it as that. As we start to move out of like the Scorpio, Sagittarius, like moving out of Aquarius, once you start moving, you know, further into, I mean, you're still in the thick of the spiritual side of the zodiac. You know, once you move from Moon to Gemini, then it's more like the tangible world. So this isn't necessarily like, oh, we're moving out of like this emotional, this feminine, this yin energy, but I'm seeing this as like a release, releasing these friendships, these bonds that don't serve you no more. Those friends that maybe you've had for a while, but they don't serve you anymore. They're no longer on your same vibe. Or maybe, you know, letting go of fears surrounding your ability to connect with others. Or even, this doesn't even always have to be as like so much fear. Even when we talk about like that Pluto energy that is still very much active, even though it's not like, oh, death is on the table or anything like that. But attachments, you know, attachments to some emotional connections. Having to cut some cords, maybe. I mean, this is definite cord cutting energy right here, to be honest. So yeah, I guess if I just want to take in all these cards one last second before I get into the oracle. Yeah, this Venus energy and this Taurus energy. These cards, whenever I see them, always give me, I mean Venus is in the card. Like, I'm not like, oh, Jasmine's amazing. Like, it's obviously, you know, very earthy, very Venus energy, and very Taurus energy. But like, this is just for me, I guess, confirmation, you know. Like, all of this, and especially with the full up out here too, that all of this Uranus and Taurus energy, it's starting to like pick up now that we're starting to get like these other planets moving into position, low-key. I feel like once, like I said earlier, once that Mercury snaps into Gemini, I feel like that's when, like, I mean, things are already like popping off, but I feel like that's when things start to pop off. Like, Gemini season's always low-key like the drama season, but like I feel like that's when it's gonna set it off, you know. I feel like it's gonna set this chain of motion where it's gonna start pulling out this spiritual warrior in people, where people really gotta start they're gonna flip this upside down. They gotta be ready to fight for this. Alright, so let's get into the oracle card for today, which I really loved. I mean, I love all these cards, but the pure white dragon from Orion transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Process what you know. Act with truth and honesty, and let your wings of light grow and expand. I just actually did a group reading from for my friends in a Patreon group from Pretty Boss TV. If you guys don't follow or know of Kendra on the YouTubes, definitely amazing lady. I'll link her. I believe I linked her before, but I'll definitely link her again. But I think I was speaking to them about us activating our crystalline bodies, activating our light bodies, really. Or even, I think I mentioned that yesterday, Saturday's reading with the Hanging Dragon, where it feels like we're really shedding like our 3D skins, or not even just our 3D like bodies where we're like dying. That's not the case. I feel more just like we're really shedding a skin. We're still going to be obviously in these physical bodies, but like we're shedding like a layer where I feel like our auras are really going to start showing, for good or bad. And I don't mean that to put fear in anyone's, heart, but it's like, it's coming down for everyone. The universe is not very much discerning when it's like, oh, well, you're a quote-unquote good person, you get to have it. It doesn't work that way. So I just wanted to mention that as like, this is why we are needing to develop discernment, because we're not the only ones, unlocking our powers. People that are still hurt and still want to use their abilities for fear and hate, they're going to be able to do that, just as much now too. But anyway, let's not talk about so much negative things. Let's just move into this oracle. All right, here we are. All right. Orion, here I'll hold the card first. Orion is the planet of wisdom. The ability to take the knowledge we obtain through our left brain and use it for the highest good of all. Beings from many star systems take their understanding to Orion to ask how to use it with wisdom. All the beings from Orion, including the 7th dimensional pure white dragons, carry a special light in their soul. The color white indicates purity, clarity, and advanced enlightenment. Archangel Gabriel, the unicorns, and the Great White Brotherhood all hold this incredible level of purity. Source light is diamond white. As white holds the vibration of truth, when the pure white dragons from Orion shower it onto us, it lights up our own impeccable honor and brilliance. They are preparing us for greater advancement on our ascension path. A pure white dragon of Orion has come to you today to advise you to examine what you know with enlightened eyes. Process any information you are working with through your right brain to discover how to use it for the highest good. The high-frequency dragons from Orion will be with you to help you with this process. They will expand you to advance your spiritual growth and expand your wings of light. When you hold white in your aura, people trust and respect you. This card calls on you to speak your truth, act with honesty, and be totally honorable in all of your dealings. So yeah, I mean, that definitely sums it up, I guess, a little bit better than I could have. And, moving in integrity. I've been mentioning that, past couple of weeks. Not letting people take you out of your integrity. That's the test. People don't run you. You run you, okay? I feel like this isn't even to, like, badger anyone. This is even for me. Like, especially for us empaths. Like, we can get caught up so fast in victim complex, in slavery mentality. It can be mad easy because we are picking up on, like, everyone else's stuff. So even when we're working on our own stuff, if we're not aware, like, we can easily be picking up on the stuff from people around us, the environments around us, the society that we spend time in, and things like that, That's why strengthening our aura is becoming important. Us strengthening our will, that's what I guess I'm also seeing when I look at these cards, is our aura, our sacral, not just our sacral, but like our light. And I see it almost like the sun, the way that the sun has, like, it started pretty orange, or like it definitely looked orange when I was a kid, and now it looks like, it looks diamond white. And I feel like that's where we're getting. Like, we're getting brighter and brighter and brighter. We're getting to that diamond white light. And so as the card says, definitely, you know, call on your guides, call on whoever you need to. But if you don't know who to call, you can call on the white dragons from Orion. They got you. So I'll just read it one more time. Process what you know, or whatever it is that you learn and come into this week. Process it, like sit with it. Don't be reactive, just sit with it and act in your truth and honesty. That doesn't mean you have to be like nice, or what you're saying is not going to ruffle any feathers. I mean, I promise what you're saying or what you will say is probably going to ruffle some feathers, but it's to let you know, do it not necessarily with class where like you have to worry about how other people are going to take it, but give your truth and still be you. Be your truest you. So yeah, I'll end it there. This one was definitely a bit longer, but I'm actually enjoying taking my time a bit more with the cards and not like really rushing myself. I mean, that also partly had to do with quite a few complications with trying to record this video. I mean, I recorded this like once halfway through and then I had to stop. So I'm high-key completely redoing this video, but I really definitely feel like that was for the best, because I feel like not that the energy is better now, but I was able to really sit and digest the message. So as always, thank you so much for watching and listening and liking and commenting. I just realized, I don't know if maybe my settings are set up weird, but it's not letting me know when people comment on the posts. So maybe I'm just gonna have to like start checking the posts to make sure like I'm not missing comments, because I promise, like, I definitely want to interact. This whole time I've just been thinking no one's commenting. So a few people have been commenting like here and there, and I want to let y'all know I definitely appreciate it, and will definitely be getting more interactive on the YouTubes and stuff. But if you do want to interact with me outside of YouTube, as always, you can follow me on Instagram at Gladiator and Sweats. That's really the only place you'll see me actively and really participating. I do have a Facebook page where I post the Instagram posts, but I mean, if you have an Instagram, you might as well just follow the Instagram. So I believe that is it. I will be putting out the daily message for us all as usual later on today. Let me think, what else? Honestly, I believe that's it. I was considering doing the full moon readings for the elements, but I just don't think I'm gonna have time. Like, I just don't know if I'm gonna have time, and I don't want to promise it. So maybe if I get to it, I'm gonna let y'all know, like, probably after I do it, just so I don't like ruin anything. But other than that, you can always look forward to my daily videos every day, trying to get those posted around a more consistent time. But again, I'm a mama of 2 little ones. They low-key get to decide at this point what happens. So again, let me let y'all go before I keep rambling, as I always like to do. Thank you guys so much. Sending you so much love and hoping for many blessings for all of us. I also send us all support through this, because it's not always easy. Not to say it's extremely difficult and it's like hell, but it's not always easy. But the best things in life usually aren't. And so just dig deep, dig deep. Find that root. Find whatever makes it to where like you're low-key unrootable. And without further ado, I'll talk to y'all later today, but I'll see you guys next week for the weekly reading. Bye.